Everybody, what's up? Hope you guys are doing good. Got another movie for you today. I've been wanting to see this one for a while. It came out last year in March, but it's barely becoming available on VOD now. I saw it on Amazon. I had to actually track it down. It wasn't available on iTunes, so yeah, it's called the Jeffrey Dahmer Files. I had seen the trailer like a couple weeks ago, and I just really wanted to see it. They captured Jeffrey Dahmer when I was still in high school, so he kind of always fascinated me. I haven't read that much into everything that happened. I remember when I was real young, it had a real impact on me. I saw some of the survivor, the last guy that survived, he was on Geraldo, and he was just like describing the scene. And I remember being a teenager, and that him describing that scene really had an effect on me. But the film Jeffrey Dahmer Files, let's get into that a little bit. And the thing that makes this film a little bit different is they have three people that were involved with the case. They have one of his neighbors. They have the detective that basically got the confession out of him, and the medical examiner that was called to the scene to figure out what to do with all the body parts and stuff. So they have interviews with them, and then they're interlaced with like these reenactments, and it's basically, things Jeffrey Dahmer did during his life. Some of them, involve the killing, some of them don't. It's just kind of like a little insight to the way he was. Um, that's kind of what leads me to my first complaint about the film. But first, let me tell you what I liked. I did like the interviews. They were interesting. The most compelling guy is probably the police officer. I thought he was he's the most lively on camera also. And then the medical examiner was also interesting. The neighbor, she was interesting from the fact that she knew Jeffrey Dahmer from, she viewed him as a normal guy until she found out he was like a psycho killer. The other ones, came in contact with him after he first got busted. So, I mean, it was kind of two different viewpoints about him, and the little scenes in between, they don't really tell you much more about him. It's kind of interesting. The guy they chose to play him looked a little more goofy than the real Jeffrey Dahmer, and it does have that kind of late '80s feel. Him walking around the city. It was shot in the same place, where he was busted. But yeah, that's the main complaint of the film, is that the scenes with Jeffrey Dahmer, although a couple of them kind of just play like comedy, and I like that because it broke up the sort of seriousness of the stuff they were talking about with the interviews. And then a couple scenes, one including the blue barrel, that's famous. They have footage of them taking that big blue barrel out, and that's where he had all the bodies out, if you know anything about it. But there's a scene where he goes to buy that, and it's pretty funny. I was just like, they had to know this played funny, but those are kind of the high and lows of it. Another problem I had with it was that you don't find out anything more than you already know. And I'm not really, haven't really read that much into it. I've seen some of the other movies. I saw the Renner one, and I remember my buddy stole a VHS from one place because he couldn't buy it anywhere, so he winded up, renting it and like never returning it or something, giving him a fake name. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I didn't learn anything new. I don't know that much about it, but I still didn't learn anything new. So there's not really any new information if you're a big Dahmer fan. And the scenes in between, they're good. It's something interesting. If you're interested in Jeffrey Dahmer, definitely check it out. If not, you can skip it. There's no blood. There's no gore. There's no extra, crime scene footage or anything. It's all stuff you've seen, the footage when they're pulling the stuff out of the house, from the outside of the house. And, they have a couple of clips of Dahmer talking, but that's about it. I mean, the only new stuff is really the scenes in between of the reenactments, and those are kind of take them or leave them. So basically, I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 5. You can kind of skip it if you don't care about Jeffrey Dahmer. You might want to see it if you're interested in Jeffrey Dahmer, although I don't think you're going to learn anything new. So 3 out of 5, definitely worth a rental. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not worth a rental. Get it as cheap as you can if you rent it. If you know a lot of stuff about Jeffrey Dahmer, tell me what you thought about the three people below. Was any of it inaccurate or anything? I'm sure there's a lot of Dahmer experts out there. So let me know what you thought below. All right, guys, see ya.